Hey, how's it going, folks? So recently I got in a conversation with somebody who had told me their school had almost been shot up like yesterday and something needed to be done about it. Well, I responded, I asked this person, was saying, okay, what actually happened? They said their school almost got shot up. And I said, well, you've said that already. That's a pretty vague thing. How about you provide some details, especially considering the fact you want something done about it like yesterday? Well, it turns out that this person's school did almost not get shot up. Um, the fact of the matter is that somebody had called in a threat and brought a toy gun to school. It's not a school almost getting shot up. Now, with that being said, what this is indicative of is this mass psychosis that I think certain people have. Either that or it's, a severe need for social approval. But, yeah, we have let our media get to the point to where they've got a significant segment of the population that fears going to school because school shootings, shit like that, which the type of school shootings they're talking about, the spree style Columbine like killings, are a statistical outlier. And if you're talking about spree killings in general, you're more likely, far more likely, to die by getting struck by lightning as opposed to being gunned down by a spree killer. However, we have certain vested interests who seem to think that it's a good thing that we do this to the country, that we sit there and make sure that a certain number of our populace, a significant number of our populace, is paralyzed in fear. And some of these entities do this because they have a profit motive in mind. Some of them do it because they have a political motive in mind. And some of them do it just out of sheer controllingness or even seeking social approval. In fact, certain people, certain entities, I think, have a number of blocks they could check off on this. Notice how I didn't say this was about saving lives, because it's not. If they were genuinely concerned about saving lives, well, they'd be doing things a little bit differently. How so? Well, first, they wouldn't be fear mongering about this. They'd be giving a more accurate set of details on these incidences. They wouldn't be leaving out shit that contradicts their narrative. And they would be having more proposals on, other than, well, it's insanely easy to get a gun in this country, or, we need another gun law. When people come up with proposals such as, hey, let's let the faculty that have licenses to carry and guns carry, I mean, shoot, if it's really that big of a threat, then we probably shouldn't be tying our school's faculty's hands behind their back when it comes to dealing with such situation. The common response you'll get from these people is, well, you're forcing teachers to carry guns. No, we're not. You're lying about what we just said. And the other one is, well, you really want to arm teachers? You know how bad that's going to turn out? It's like, okay, you really think our teachers are that retarded? Well, let's get rid of the retarded teachers, because if they're not capable of being able to handle a firearm, they're certainly not capable of being able to handle a classroom full of students. You know, um, but again, that is one proposal that these people don't want to hear. Another proposal is, well, you guys say that our children are the most valuable assets. You guys say schools are a sensitive area that, guns should not be allowed in, weapons should not be allowed in. Okay, well, let's do what actual sensitive areas actually do. You have physical security. You have a physical perimeter. You have a roving patrol to ensure that perimeter does not get breached. You have entry control points to prevent unauthorized persons or items from entering that sensitive area. And you have a QRF, or Quick Reaction Force, on standby to back up either the roving patrols, the ECPs, or wherever else they might be needed on that premises to assist in security for. Well, two major responses I get from this is, well, that's really expensive. Usually, ironically, from the people who say we need another gun law, which is far more expensive than that. And the other one is, well, I don't want to feel like I'm going to prison every day, or I don't want to feel like our children are going to prison every day. Which is kind of funny. You were just telling me you were afraid of our children getting shot, gunned down by a spree killer, and now all of a sudden your feelings about them going to prison, which it's not, but the feelings that it might feel like prison are now the number one priority. Get lost. You just told me that you really don't care about saving lives. Another proposal that's been brought up, and this is brought up by, even certain people who are more liberal leaning, but they're not necessarily gun controllers. And this is, let's look and see what makes these people tick. While, yes, they are statistical outliers, and there's not near enough data on them to be able to make a solid of an option in trying to identify these people and getting them the help they need. The fact of the matter is that, this is a proposal that also gets shot down. And I think it might actually be worthwhile to try to look and see, okay, let's look at the limited data we have and try to figure out if we can find a pattern in their planning, a pattern in their targeting, a pattern in, their thought process. And let's see if we can figure out if there are any identifiers to these people, and not necessarily to say no gun. In fact, the gun controllers like that proposal as long as they get to say that person doesn't have a gun and nothing else. They're fine with that. But, when it comes to, not taking their gun and actually getting them help, then the gun controllers have a problem with that. Because it's not about saving lives with these fucking gun controllers. It's about, going after a freedom they don't particularly like. But, again, these are certain ways you can tell these gun controllers are not interested in actually saving lives. So another way you could tell the gun controllers are not really interested in saving lives, and this is just about either social approval or an agenda, is the fact that they want to ban rifles such as these. In fact, they've got an obsession with banning rifles such as these from private ownership. The fact of the matter is that if you look at our homicide statistics and what weapon was used in each homicide, these account for a statistically insignificant number. This is why police wear body armor that's level 2 and 2A and not body armor that's NIJ level 4. The NIJ level 4 is a lot heavier, and it's one of those things where you only wear that if you're concerned that somebody's going to be shooting at you with one of these as opposed to one of these, which is what level 2A and level 2 body armor is designed for being in mind. This is what police are far more likely to be shot at with. And the fact of the matter is that the mask has already slipped with this a number of times in the 90s even, especially in the 90s. when they actually had the 94 ban and then Columbine happened. And then these very same people were like, well, we're not doing anything about guns in this country. It's not fair. It's not right. These people seem to fail to remember the 93 Brady bill and the 94 ban, or some of them even gone as far as to try to cover up their previous lie by saying, well, gun manufacturers are now modifying assault weapons cosmetically so that they fit the letter of the law. It wasn't, hey, these gun rights activists are right in saying that the initial 94 ban, was solely banning firearms because they look scary to the average person. It was not. No, it was the gun manufacturers are modifying guns cosmetically to make them fit the letter of the law. So there you have it. That's another reason you can tell these people either A, don't know what they're talking about, or B, not serious about actually saving lives. I tend to think most of these people who come into this debate on the gun control side are just doing it for social approval. Because, they see the media pushing for it and they think that's what everyone wants. So, I'm going to end this right here. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all take her easy out there and have a great day.